All right, the last group of problems for 4.1, the complex number system, uh, they give us a non-standard version of the complex number, and we're supposed to simplify and put it into standard form. So these problems are on page 320. They're numbered 77 through 86, and we'll do 77 and then maybe 79. All right, so 77 is negative 6i cubed plus I squared. So this certainly isn't in standard form. It is clearly a complex number, though. We've got our I squared and I cubed and whatnot. All right, so we know a few things. Negative 6, I can break this up into I squared times I, and I squared is just negative 1. So this is negative 6 times negative 1i minus 1. So in standard form, this will be negative 1 plus 6i. So that's kind of the process. And again, in a previous video, I showed you what to do with I squared, I cubed, I to the fourth power, fifth power, and so forth. But you can reduce it like that or whatnot. All right, so 83 is negative 14 I to the fifth. Well, you can do this in one of two ways. We know straight up that I to the fifth is equivalent to I, so we can just equals. We can just have this equaling negative 14i, or negative 14 times I squared times I squared times I, which would be negative 14 times negative 1 times negative 1 times I, which is then negative 14i. But I would just suggest, we know that I to the fourth is 1. Again, another way of looking at this is negative 14 I to the fifth equals negative 14 I times I to the fourth, which is negative 14 I times 1. So we know I to the fourth is just back to 1. So we can always pull out an exponent value that is divisible by 4, and whatever our remainder is left over. So as another example, say I to the 13th power. Well, this equals I to the fourth cubed times I. I to the fourth is 1, and we have I. So that's another way of looking at this if you want to reduce something that's crazy large down to something that's more manageable. And that should conclude this section.